Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose the Daily Nerd, where I break down the raw news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because last night I saw this breaking news on X, and my initial reaction was, holy effing shitballs! What the deuce is going on? Prince Harry ordered to reveal any payments to witnesses in case against the Daily Mail. Now, thanks to the royal wave on X, they shared an archived version of the article right here. And yeah, your eyes are not deceiving you. Prince Harry ordered to reveal any payments to witnesses in case against the Daily Mail. And so he's been ordered to reveal to the High Court any payments or inducements made in return for evidence in his claim against the Daily Mail. So the Associated Newspapers, they're the publisher that owns the Daily Mail, and they're accused of carrying out or commissioning unlawful activities such as hiring private investigators to place listening devices inside cars, essentially phone hacking, unlawful information gathering, you know, the usual, right, guys? Now, of course, they're denying all the allegations. Now, instead, they're claiming that Hazard's team offered or paid incentives, including a £5,000 a month deal with a private investigator called Gavin Burrows. So just to read this particular paragraph, word for word. So instead, the publisher, Daily Mail, right, claim that incentives were offered or paid by researchers working for the claimant's legal team, working for Prince Hazard's legal team, including a £5,000 per month a deal with a private investigator called Gavin Burrows. Now, in this ruling handed down a couple of days ago on Friday, Mr. Justice Nicklin criticised the inconsistent and incoherent approach made by the claimants to providing such evidence, declaring their explanations as unconvincing. He said there were serious questions to be answered about the status of the claimant's research team, particularly the documents they held and whether there'd been adequate disclosure. He's turning around and saying, guys, Prince Hazard, you're talking BS, you're really unconvincing, I want the evidence, who've you paid off? Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Who? Which witnesses have you paid off? Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. That's essentially, as far as I'm concerned, what the judge is asking Hazard. Has he just been caught with his freaking pants down? Holy effing shitballs, indeed. The group ruled that Prince Hazard and his team should search for and hand over any documents that suggest that Mr. Burrows, this private investigator, that they paid £5,000 a month, or any other potential witness, has, quote, skin in the game. Now, the trial is due to take place in January next year, so do make sure you are subscribed to me on this channel, Stef The Alter Nerd, because, oh, yeah, you know I'm going to be following that all day long, right, guys? But going on, the judge's latest ruling follows a 2-day case management hearing in May, during which Anthony White KC, who's representing Daily Mail and the rest, right, asked the court to order the claimants to search for and disclose any documents that relate to payments, royalties, or inducements paid, provided or offered, or any demands or threats made in order to obtain documents, information, or other cooperation. So it's not just, it might be the conspiracy theory, whatever, my interpretation of this, right? Prince Hazard, who've you paid off, right, to be a witness for you, this, that, and the other. But it's also threats. Prince Hazard, your team, who've you freaking threatened for this case? Allegedly. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. This is freaking insane. When I say, right, holy effing shitballs! Guys, this is not an overreaction. Holy effing shitballs! You don't think it could get worse for him? It does. Dude needs to stop. Dude just needs to retract everything and be like, do you know what? We're Gucci. We don't need the trial to happen in January. I'm pulling out. Dude needs to pull out. Dude needs to pull out. Now, the barrister said that a limited number of documents had been disclosed, which showed that payments were made or offered to procure evidence and invoices. The judge could only have made this ruling, as far as I'm aware, if there was at least some evidence to suggest that this was happening in the first place. The Daily Mail and their team brought it. They were like, yeah, there's evidence to suggest that Hazza has been paying off witnesses or even threatening witnesses potentially for this case. Here's the evidence. Can we dig in deeper? And judge is like, oh, hell yeah, we're digging in deeper. Who the hell has got skin in the game financially? Who has had financial inducements? Who has been potentially threatened? Holy effing shitballs! I will say that till the cow come home when it comes to this story, because this is insane. Mr. Justice Nicklin said he was satisfied that any documents suggesting witnesses had been paid or offered other inducements should be disclosed. He adds that is because there's a real prospect that Associated will be able to rely upon this evidence to attack the credibility of such witnesses. Damn right! Damn right! Ultimately, the issue of whether the payment or inducement does affect the credibility of any witness is a matter to be resolved at trial. In this case, the stance adopted by the claimants has been undermined by their inconsistent and incoherent approach to disclosure of documents relating to payments to potential witnesses and or other inducements. Furthermore, Prince Harry and his team were also ordered to conduct further searches for evidence relating to what has been described in court as their personal watershed moment when they became aware that they had a potential claim. Harry's effed. Harry's freaking screwed. It's not just the judge ordering him, right? That he wants all the information as to who Team Hazza has paid witness-wise or even threatened witness-wise. Oh no, the judge is going one step further and he's turning around and saying, we want to know, we want your evidence to prove the moment that you believe there was a claim. Because that's very, very important. Why? Statute of limitations. There's only so many years you can bring something to court after the event, after the fact, right? At that point, if you've gone beyond that time frame, you're done. You can't do it. Statute of limitations, but the British version. Yeah. The judge is going for the jugular on this one. Prince Harry is effed. And he spent millions on this case already. The only winners, right, are the barristers. They're the only winners in this. Now, Hazza is said to have sent a text message to Baroness Lawrence alerting her that information had come to light that she would want to know about. And that prompted her to join the legal action a few months later. Now, in a subsequent email sent by Hazza to Baroness Lawrence about the material his barrister David Sherburn had come across, he said, quote, he and one of his team would be keen to come and speak to you in order to explain what this material shows and what your options are. Now, Hazza was told he had a potential claim by his barrister, Mr. Sherburn, to whom he was introduced by Sir Elton whilst on holiday at the singer's home in France. And Associated newspapers had sought information about such moments, including details of who had allegedly provided what information to whom and on what dates. And Mr. Justice Nicklin is absolutely savage for Team Hazza, because he's saying that he found the lack of documentation on these pivotal moments surprising. I'd say it's surprising, don't you? He says such revelations would surely have prompted communications between trusted friends and family members, messages seeking advice or guidance or expressing shock or outrage. Yeah, I agree with that logic, don't you? The judge noted that a complete absence of corroborating documents may be used to suggest these moments were not quite as shocking as claimed. In other words, Hazza, pony up the freaking evidence to back what you're claiming, otherwise you're screwed. You're effed. You're gonna lose this case. Holy effing shitballs. Oh, and so, meanwhile, his attempt to access broader call data and other information was refused by the judge, describing the request as disproportionate or unfocused. So, in other words, Daily Mail and their publishers got everything they wanted, right? Team Hazza, right, have to provide in court all the witnesses that have paid, all the witnesses that they may have threatened, all this allegedly, right? Yeah? They also have to provide evidence of the watershed moment as to when Hazza believed he had a claim. Team Hazza turns round and says, well, we want more information. We want more, what was it now? Access to broader call data and other information. And the judge turns around and says, piss off, you cowbag. You ain't getting shit. You're not getting shit. Instead, you're giving us the information we want. You're giving us what we want, but you're not getting anything in return. I love this judge. Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Justice Nicklin is one of my favourite people at the moment in the freaking world. Because he comes with a warning here. So, broad allegations made about the alleged use of unlawful information gathering across all male titles over 25 years, they were also rejected. So not only, right, was his request to get more data and other information from Daily Mail rejected, but his broader allegations about the alleged use of unlawful information gathering over 25 years, they were also rejected as well. Hazza had to take a big, massive L on this one. It's astonishing, really. And here's the warning for Mr. Justice Nicklin. He says that such allegations could not prove individual claims and that the court would tightly manage the scope of the generic case to prevent the litigation from becoming a wide-ranging public inquiry. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because this is the thing, right? There's always been a suspicion, an opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, that Hazza was suing all these publishers, right, to try and force a public inquiry to go through. Mr. Justice Nicklin is saying, piss off, you cowbag, to that as well. It's like, I'm not going to let you use me in this court to try and snake your way into trying to trigger a public inquiry into all this. It's already been done. It's called the Leveson Report. Read it. Digest it. It's fucking done. It's done. He's done. Holy effing shitballs. Yeah. So, going around full circle, what do you guys think? After going through that update, has Prince Harry just been caught by the judge paying off witnesses in his lawsuit against the Daily Mail? What do you guys think? With that being said, those watching live, whether on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are because, yes, you guys have been able to unlock the bonus Hazza and Megxy story for today's live stream. And yes, this is a doozy, some new suits tea for you all. Has Meghan Markle been blamed for the Suits spin-off failing? Why has she been blamed for the Suits spin-off failing? Well, guys, we're going to get into that for the bonus Hazza and Megxy story that we'll be jumping into in a moment. But before we do so, of course, if you haven't done so already, then please make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. And if you're watching on X, make sure you follow me on X at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. Again, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. But for those watching on the replay, thank you so, so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.